All right, so this is game 1, right? Mr. Jack, I think this is game 1. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the Hecarim game was game.
Alright, so we're running Ornn, Hecarim, Syndra, Jhin, Nami. They are running Poppy, Jervin, Lux, Jinx, Tahm Kench. Bro, imagine someone actually playing Tahm Kench. Disgusting. But let's see here. We have pretty good team fight. We also have pretty strong lanes, just in general. Other than, of course, the Ornn Poppy lane, which is meh. We have pretty strong team fight and pretty strong lanes. So we should be able to get a lot done whenever we want to on the Hecarim. Especially level 3 and on. Yeah. The main, I'd play a lot around mid lane. The Cinder Stuns can set up easy ganks, whatever we want it. Bot lane, you can play around bot lane, depending on how good this Tahm Kench is at his devours. And even if he is good at them, we can still probably catch the Tahm Kench with bubble. And just Hecarim knockback, and maybe we get lucky and we get a 2-for-1 when he devours her. So, yeah, bot and mid, both very gankable this game. That's what I'd look to play around those two strong lanes. Just let the Syndra and the Jhin scale and be massive teamfight carries later on, because that Poppy really isn't doing too much for them in terms of blocking stuff in teamfights. The only thing is blocking or recasting his ultimate. And his knockup. And I'm not sure. Do you know? Does Poppy's what's it like? Stand, whatever it's called. Does it stop the Hecarim knockback?
His E, yeah, it definitely stops his E.
Okay, that's pretty much it though. So she shouldn't be too much of a problem here. But
boy,
yeah. we will see. However, as Leper is telling me, Poppy was a problem. But
yeah, she was a big problem later on.
Alright, let's see what we got.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
They were red, we were the Raptors. We just doing a trade. Doing a heckin' trade. That's huge though, that chunk on Lux. Like, as soon as you guys are able to communicate that she didn't back and she just stayed in lane, that should be a pretty free level 3 gank. If you can set up the knockback with the Cinder Stun. Just one into the other, either or, whichever.
I can't remember if we pulled that off or not, honestly.
Just because she is pretty. Oh wow, she'll go E level 1. She should go E level 1. No, not him. I want her. Yeah. She'll go E level 1 and probably Q level 2. You know, imagine her going W level 2, but still. If you have your W up there, Mr. Leper, that's a great time. When he goes up to auto her, because his auto range is essentially the same as your W range, so when he goes up to auto, if you you can bounce the W pretty easily like that. Make sure you're not going up too far by yourself, because they do still have a big wave. Cody's playing something other than support. Also, you should try Relic Shield on Nami. I really like Relic Shield on just everyone in general, but I've been liking it on Nami. Oh, that's such a free gank if you can get there before she backs. Tyler can maybe even just solo kill. Yeah, be careful walking up so much. Make sure you're not standing against a wall unless you're ready to W it. That's pretty bread and butter. Be careful about that scuff. I'm not sure. Did you get it? Yeah, you did. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just make sure you're careful. If you can have your lanes get push, like I'm sure the Syndra could have gotten push if she wanted to. Like looking at the mana bars, if she wanted push, she could have gotten push. So just make sure you communicate. I'm not sure if you did. I don't have the comps, but just make sure you're communicating if you can to your laner. Is there?
Okay.
On that one, you know he's gonna try to devour the Jinx. I would recommend just go for the Tomcats. Just like this is kind of like we played a scrim earlier today. Bro, she missed. Oh my god, she misclicked me at the cannon. That's unlucky for her. Because that would have been a really big chunk onto the board. But nice. Now she's free. But yeah, it's just like we played a scrim earlier today, and they had an Ezreal. It's the same type of deal, right? Like just accept that you're not gonna get the ADC. Like yes, ideally you get the ADC, but it's gonna be a lot harder. So it's a lot easier to just like in our case, it was just okay. We're just gonna go for the Nautilus instead. But that's twice now that he's clicked a minion. There's a problem for him. He should turn on target champions only, like bind it to something. Tyler should be bullying super hard here. She has absolutely no mana. Nice, yeah, just your Syndra, you're huge, just kind of like shove it down her throat. Because she has no mana to resist you. Lux is a bad champion outside of support, changed my mind. But, yeah. Just, yeah, every time she goes to last hit, just put a Q on her. Like, that is the way to do it. Like, trading stance anytime anyone goes for a last hit, that's when you go for them. Just because, yeah, it's a lot easier to predict where they are. It's a lot easier to hit your skill shots that way. Yeah, this Ornn is not having too good of a time, but I would say leave him alone, right? Just accept that the Ornn is not going to have a good time. And just make sure you're getting these drakes. Like, they just got that drake pretty much for free, even though we had the winning mid lane, and we had a stronger bot lane, and we have item advantage bot lane. And they were gone for a while. Like, we could have, if we wanted to, even done something about that. That's unlucky. Just caught shopping. But yeah. And if you know they're up at Dragon, make sure we're shoving in bot lane. And bot lane super hard. The mid laner wasn't there, but if the mid laner was, same thing. Just to deny. But yeah, now you're up 10 farm bot lane. Top mid lane would be up so much more, but unlucky. Death there. Means that she's actually up 300 gold. Even though you've been destroying her in lane so far. And yeah, that's just about at the end of the day. When you're doing something good, don't throw it away. So you just gotta be safe about throwing it away. Top lane, you have to be really, especially against a Poppy, like she's done that to you 3 or 4 times now. So just make sure you're watching her for that. If you're gonna, like that's just how any Poppy matchup goes. Is you just have to watch for the wall, but specifically with the Ornn, just be watching to W that if you can. Like you're just trying to, like she's gonna get grass procs on you whenever she wants to with her buckler. So just be there trying to, you know, when she goes for him, see if you can just QW her. Like you're not really ever gonna get E off on Poppy unless her thing is down, her Always kite towards your teammates there. Like, you know your Syndra's coming up. I'm sure he called it out. So just be fighting down towards her. Because then she had to flash to get the kill. But if you go down towards her, maybe you meet her right before the Rift Herald pit, like the Baron pit, and you like might actually live there. And the Syndra doesn't have to expend flash probably. Make sure we're pinging summoners too. I see the Poppy teleport there, but yeah. Like the Lux lost her flash a while ago. I'm not sure if we knew about that. I'm not sure if we're gonna do anything about that. But especially on an immobile mage mid lane when you're a Hecarim. Just yeah. And yeah, you gotta be really careful about that. Don't be afraid to just blow your ultimate to dodge her Q there. Like, when she first Q'd you and got the root onto you, if you had just like ulted and feared her under tower and knocked her back under tower, maybe you can make something happen there. You certainly live, that's for sure. But yeah. Really good play bot. This is what you all do. It's your second time blowing flash heal out of them because, yeah. Good job. So now you get to start getting plays from them. Nice nod. Ooh, if you just popped ult right there, one shot would have killed him off of your Death Blossom. I think it's called Death Blossom. No, Curtain Call. But yeah. One Curtain Call shot would have killed him. So as soon as that root hit, just ult. And even if you don't get him, just put them all into the Jinx, make her back. You get at least one plate, maybe two, that way. Nice, good stun. Oh, that's unlucky. That's why I usually always go Ignite on Syndra. Personally. Ignite, you get a kill there. Make sure you're weaving in autos too. Because like autos matter, right? Oh, you gotta make sure we're hitting those Ornals. Also when you see her use her E, just like chill and wait out. Like we just blew both of our movement things as soon as she popped her E. And now she's surviving mega long. And yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of chances for us to kill her there and not get outplayed. Also again, make sure we're not focusing the tank v tank matchup. We want to be focusing on the carry lanes, i.e. mid and bot. So like with Syndra Hecarim, y'all can even dive that mid tower if you want to. You can just be chain killing this Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench is a terrible champion. It's just in a terrible spot. I'm sure anyone playing him doesn't actually know how to play him well enough. So, we're not gonna. Good job, just smite. Good kill. Nice. Oh, did the Lux go pick it up? Or wait, who killed it? Did y'all kill it? Oh, y'all did kill it.
Yeah, we got it.
You stole it and you picked it up. I'm blind.
Yeah,
I'm dumb. Ignore me.
Snagged it.
Come on, show me mid lane. This should be a kill. Yeah. Okay, you got flash. That's the only thing she could have done. Make sure you're getting it down to at least 3 plays before you pop that, because it always does like 2200 true damage. So it just makes this tower super hard to get through. Like if you had knocked off a plate and a half more, or like one more plate, like not one plate, but like 1,000 more damage, that would have died right there. Because like if you had knocked off 488 damage more before the charge, it would have died on that charge. Or it wouldn't have died on the charge, but you would have got it after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever we can, we want to be prioritizing using the Herald to last at the tower. This should be a really good fight for us here. Poppy. just got in. E is down. We got our Jin here. Yeah. NECC under her and she's dead. Nice. Y'all gotta be so scared of that Poppy. Like, y'all were standing so far away from her that she, like, almost made it out. Like, the Lux ain't that scary, guys. It's okay. Step up, put some pressure on her. Especially with that Syndra. Like, Syndra's our biggest pressure onto that Lux in team fights. Just because your stun's the easiest thing to... Or easiest way of getting onto her. Oh, are you okay? You should be okay. You're full health. So you have a lot of kills now, Mr. Hecarim, so you should be able to just pop these squishies whenever you would like. The top tower is almost gone. There's nothing really up for a while. The next thing is 3 minutes Herald and 3.5 for Drag. Yeah, at this point, both tanks are they're tanks, so don't ever look back there again. Like, it's okay-ish early to look there before they start getting stats, but now that she has the Sunfire Cape, don't ever look top again.
Gotcha.
Make sure you're not up too far. I think that's like the 3rd time I've seen it this game. This time it finally cost you your flash. But yeah. Make sure you're getting more balls down, because that was only a 4 balled. If you know you're gonna look for something on Syndra, you wanna like Q something, right? And then like just so you have that other ball down, so you can like Q E that, or Q, W that ball, and then like, I don't know, my typical combo is like put down a Q, right, like just test the waters, throw a Q at them if you can, then once my Q's about to come back up, then I'll Q, W, grab that first ball, E, and throw it on top of them, and then like auto ult them, because we weave in autos, we love to weave in autos. Yeah, make sure you're not overextending in lane. Like, you're walking up super far, all alone. And they definitely could have been punishing you. Like, Tahm Kench is actually, like, a lot... Like, this just shows that he's a bad Tahm Kench player. Because he's not, like, punishing you for it at all. But, yeah, he could just be chain killing you, because you're just a fish. That top play, make sure y'all are... Right, like, you know... I don't know. That one, you know that she's gonna try and, like, go off of you to get back towards her tower. So try and make her go down the river if you can, right? Like, just stay in the river here so she can go this way, she can't go this way. And then just wait for her to use that as well before throwing your E out. Nice, this guy's in tank. Nice. Yeah, that was very
Really
greedy of
greedy.
you to just still be up there, especially after you got the kill onto the Jarvan. Like, just leave there. You know Dragon's up. The one thing that you can't do right now is die. Because now they're going to have 15 seconds where they have a jungler and you don't. If they want to come set up for this. But yeah. Just make sure you're choosing plays like based off of what's going on the rest of the map. as well. Like, and this applies to a lot of things, right? Like, whether what's going on in the rest of the map means how well other lanes are doing, or if it means what's about to spawn, right? So, like right there, you don't want them to get on soul point, and for an ocean soul at that, right? So the last thing that you can do is die before this objective. So just make a plays according to that. Just like if, say I'm playing mid lane and my bot and my top lane are doing really well, I sure as hell am not going to take any risky plays to try and get a solo kill in lane that could result in me dying, right? It's like, as long as I don't feed the mid laner, we'll be fine. I don't need to try and push super hard to get ahead. You know, that type of thing. Just like, that's what I mean though, by just like looking at, you know, what's going on in the game and having that affect your decision making, not just what you see in front of you. Yeah, looks ain't that good mid lane, but she can still do that. Gotta dodge the Qs. Feels bummed.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Be a little more hesitant to use your Nami ults. That's the second one in a row that I've seen that was a little suspect. Like, you were definitely good right there. And like the other one before going into Dragon, right there, like it definitely would have been nice to have it in team fights. In general, unless it's a really clear pick or it's a really clear you need this to escape, I only use Nami ults as like a secondary thing in team fights. Like it would be something that I would like Hecarim ult in, and then you follow up the Hecarim ult with your ult into your bubble, right, for the wombo. Or like Ornn ult into your ult, into Hecarim ult into bubble, or something, whatever it is. But just with, in general, how actually like easy it is to dodge Nami ults in reality, especially like long range Nami ults, I don't like to lead with it. Unless you have like a really good angle on someone, right, where they can't escape, like that Lux, for example, right? Like that was a medium to longer range Nami ult, but you had the angle on her where she couldn't dodge it unless she flashed it. Right, like there's always exceptions, but you know what I mean. Make sure you are playing a very dangerous game standing against that wall, Mr. Ornn. Just make sure you're understanding the Poppy matchup and what she's trying to do. This time you're ready to do good though. Also, watch that E, because that's very predictable from the Poppy's point of view, right? Like, you throw out your Q, and it's like, oh, what are you going to do now? You're going to knock up off of that, or you're going to try to. So. Nice job. Okay, this should be a pick here. And that's one right there where you could have just dropped the ult, right? Because you were, like, point-blank range, though. Just right there you could have. It still worked out. You still got him, but yeah, just make sure we're walking safe. I didn't see exactly what happened, but they do have a lot of burst if they get on you, so just be careful, Mr. Tyler, about how you're walking. Again, that's another one where it's like, okay, we're absolutely killing it, right? Like, crushing them in mid lane, right? We're about to take their inhib. What's the one thing I can't do is give them a trade back, right? Like, they're just gonna try and trade. kills. So if you haven't been able to notice yet, a lot of the times when I play League of Legends, I look at things through the enemy's point of view. That's a big thing about how I like to play. Like looking through how do they win, what's their win con, and playing around that specifically more so than playing around yours. Yeah. So they're on Ocean Point, Soul Point. That's huge. Again, make sure Hecarim you're not dying right before their Ocean Soul comes up. Because you need to be alive for this fight. You need to be alive for this. Because now we basically just have to fold this because we can't walk in. Like, we can fight them afterwards, but we aren't able to walk in at all.
Yeah, that was what Lover and I talked
Also,
about.
everyone's kind of spread out. Make sure that we're not this far spread, because we got our squishies just kind of in there alone. Their squishies are on the flank, while the Horn and the Syndra are coming from the blue buff area. So just make sure we're communicating, we're getting set up, because we're really big in the front to back. Right, like Syndra will just bop her way through the front line. Speaking of, I would probably recommend the Void Staff this game. Syndra. Because Poppy is very large. Also, you gotta make sure you're hitting skill shots there. You don't have to stand so far away from her. As long as you're not standing against the wall, you don't have to worry about her too much, right? Like, you don't have to stand at arm's length. Your range is bigger than hers is. Maybe she gets a buckler on you, but yeah. You're playing very, very scared of the Poppy, and that's one of the big problems with the skill shot accuracy, right? Like, if you're closer to her, it's a lot easier to hit that stun on her, and then subsequently to hit everything else. But also, if you're that far away from her, like, yeah, it's just harder to get more damage out. I guess she's also going pretty much full armor for some reason, which is kind of whack, but you will love that as a Syndra. I think you're going Hourglass right now. I would not recommend going Hourglass right now. You are pretty much the only way to get through their tanks. Or one of the best ways to get through their tanks. So you definitely want to be going something like a Void Staff or a Morelos here. Rather than going for the Hourglass. You don't really need it. There's no huge threat of someone popping you, right? Like, the only threat, I guess, is Lux, but just dodge her Q, I guess, is the best thing I can say for that. Like, yeah, that sucks. Make sure you're not using both of those, just use one of them, because now you have neither of them for 5 minutes. That's really good. There we go, good job autoing her. That was actually really good. Good job getting those autos in. You have nothing else to do. Okay, you almost have Syndra ult back, so you can look on to this Poppy. Oh, y'all can so fight this if you want to. You have a Nami. Nami should be pumping. Like, it's a 5v2 right now. The Poppy isn't that scary. Nice. I don't care about the blast cone, Mr. League of Legends. Yeah, you guys are playing so scared of this Poppy when I really don't think you should be. Like, yes, she's tanky, but she's not that huge. Like, y'all are very much in the lead. Right? Like, you're over 4K in the lead. just make sure we're getting the Syndra stuff onto her. Like, y'all should win any fight by just dodging, honestly, by just dodging Lux Q and making sure that, like, you don't all get hit by Jarvan EQR. And you should just win every fight. As long as you're, you know, not letting them free hit. And that's, like, doing that guarantees you win the fight. Even if they hit that, you still have a good chance of winning the fight since you are ahead. But especially if Hecarim can ult some of that CC too. Oh, juicy. Also, recommendation for Syndra. Ult when you have your E almost coming up, because it makes it really easy to hit the stun on Syndra after the ult goes down. So I really like stunning after ult. It's very nice. Like, unless you're, like, you know your full combo will kill, right, with the ult and the E right away, then just, like, you know, swag, walk away the ult, right, like, just pop it and walk away, right, style points, cool guys don't look at explosions, but otherwise, right, like, just getting up to 5 or you don't have to last hit with the ult. Like, it's not like a Kali ult where the lower they are, the more damage it does. Like, if you have a 5 or 6 ball, just use it for the damage, and then just E afterwards, right? And you still do damage. You're not like an ultimate champion. You don't rely on your ultimate to play League of Legends. So, yeah. That's my Syndra recommendations for you. Yeah, they're here. It's a 4v2, so just focus on hitting them. Don't hit the Baron, just hit that Poppy. Just get all the CC in the world that you can on her. Unless you can hit this Jinx here, right? Like, as soon as that Jinx steps up too far, just go on that Jinx. Yeah, like, imagine if you had a Morello's, right? Like, yeah. Big recommend Morello's over Hourglass here. Like, especially when they're gonna get Ocean Soul, and they have the Ocean Soul. The Morellos would have helped you so much against this Poppy. Like, where you at, Poppy? Alright, you have 166 MR, and you have a lot of... where is it? Where's your health regen? Health regen, 53. Yeah, the Morellos would have been so nice here. Or Void Staff. Honestly, I would have gone both. Personally, I would have gone Ludens, Morellos, Void Staff, Death Cap. That would have been my build this game. Probably. But yeah. This game's just really unlucky because you don't really have a tank shredder. So it's really hard for you to get through that Poppy. But you still should be winning these fights. Like, if you recognize you can't get through the Poppy, then just kill their backline, right? And then just slowly whittle your way through their front line after you've killed their backline. That way, the Jinx and the Lux aren't just, like, free throwing out rockets and spells while you're trying to get through that Poppy. Now it's just late game Jinx doing late game Jinx things. Lux throwing out spells, and Poppy just being a Magu tank with the Ocean Soul. Yeah, that was very much a winnable game right there. And yeah, I think just like going back when it really really started to turn was we just had some really bad team fights. It's like right here, it's like a 6k gold lead. We really gotta be getting the CC onto this puppy here. Like the Tom Kench ain't gonna do much, let's just CC this puppy and kill her. Like she's actually just doing it. Also we gotta hit this stuff. Like you're playing at arm's length away from her. The orange should be able to match her tankiness, so yeah, it's all about getting the damage done. Yeah, like they didn't play insanely well, they just got Jinx doing Jinx things, because she got to free hit. Right, so like if instead we're just able to commit, and put like the Hecarim ult onto the Jinx and the Lux every fight, right, and imagine these fights where it's Ornn versus Poppy matching each other's tankiness, but they don't have a Jinx and a Lux, just like hitting us for free. But yeah, so if we can just like hit this onto the back line and this R, and you can pop this R, right? Like, y'all should have a lot of tools to get on the back line, but that's just what I saw from this game. They definitely did have the scaling though in this game, so from a behind state, it is hard for y'all to come back and win it. You really gotta close it out and just keep pushing the agenda, pushing the button. But yeah, that's what I saw from that game. Jack Lepper, any questions, comments?
I don't think so. At least not for me.
Okay, so versus. True. We never surrender. Never surrender. Yeah. Alright.